If you're an occupational therapist and you know you are really good at XYZ, like you're really good at something and you want to create an online program to share with other therapists or maybe just other people in your community. My name is Huang. I'm an occupational therapist and certified hand therapist, and I'm going to share with you how I started creating my online courses very specifically for occupational therapists, but physical therapists are welcomed and also attend my courses. So I'm going to share with you a little bit about what I've been doing, and I've been in my therapy clinic for over 10 years. And then 5 years ago, I started Hand Therapy Secrets. But believe it or not, before I actually officially started Hand Therapy Secrets, I was creating I actually wasn't creating online training courses. I was just creating training courses for occupational therapists. Specifically, I started with creating an orthosis type of course. So when I started my business, I somehow got invited to teach at the university. And I think it was just because I was putting it out there that I was really interested in teaching. And I was speaking to a couple of people who were at the university level. And I started teaching for the university. And from that, I was like, hey, you have the space. I would love to be able to create a course where I could come and utilize your space to teach other therapists who are interested in creating custom fitted orthoses. So I kind of approached the university with that. And one of the reasons why I approached the university was also because they could get me the CEUs. So that's essentially how I started. But I wrote down 4 things that I have been doing ever since then that helps me to get started. So one of the first things I want to encourage you to do is test out your idea on the marketplace to see if people are interested in spending money on it. So you can ask your friends and you can ask people who are trying to become entrepreneurs, business owners, hey, would you be interested in this? But at the end of the day, those people aren't necessarily people who would spend money on your course. And so the reason why I'm saying test it out into the marketplace to see who would be interested is because at the end of the day, you need to market your program, your course, whether you're doing it in person or online. People have to know more about it, and people have to be interested in spending the money. Um, Funny enough, your friends and the people who are doing what you're doing will very seldom spend their money on your course. That is the hard truth that you might not want to hear, but I'm here to tell you, people who actually know me don't buy my courses. Strangers buy my courses. People who don't know me at all buy my courses. The people who actually know me, um, don't. It's weird how that works, but I'm not going to dive into that right now. But so much of about it is marketing to people and saying like, would you be interested in this? And so before I started officially launching Hand Therapy Secrets, I spent a whole year sharing my perspective, sharing on how I create splints and how I think through what I would do and why I would do what I do and what materials I would use, things like that. So I'm just giving you an example of the course that I created. And every single time I created another course or anything like that, I started marketing and I was like trying to see who would be interested in learning this. And then at the end of the day, learning like, are there people, who are willing to pay for my expertise, my knowledge, to be able to consolidate everything I know in a short period of time to help them save time? Because that's why people would spend the money. It's not like they couldn't look on their own and learn on their own, but it would take them years and thousands of hours, right? Versus like, hey, I'll pay $600 or whatever to take a class and then learn it in a weekend. And then you have, people are willing to pay because they feel like there's a lot of value to taking, a 2-day course outside of the whole CEU part. I'm going to get to that in a little bit. But yeah, test your idea out in the marketplace, start marketing, start sharing your perspective and seeing who would be really interested. Number 2 is then create the course. And I think what happens is people have a tendency to create the course, but without the marketing to see if there's people who would be interested in doing. be interested in spending the money on a type of course like that. So what you want to do is you want to start marketing first and start sharing first and kind of seeing what the interest is, because that's going to also help shape your course. You're going to have an outline, an idea of what your course is going to be like, how you want to give it, how you want to break it down. I've created both online and in-person courses, and so believe it or not, what people are interested in kind of can shape your course outline a little bit, even if you have a framework and an idea around it. So market and then create it. And then the last thing you have to do is you have to really sell it. So when you market and you share your perspective, and then you're like, oh, like after a while, and you get people who are interested, and then after a while, you're like, hey, I'm going here, I'm doing this. You can buy my course now, right? You can, I created this. You said you wanted this, didn't you? You want to buy it? I know it seems kind of silly, but you can create, like, I'm sure tons of people create courses because they are so smart and they know so much. But if you're not selling it, if you're not like, hey, do you want to buy it? Then no one's going to buy it because they don't even know that you have that to offer. So it's a really crucial step in your whole process. And then as you market and as you create and then as you sell it, then the last thing really to do is to go back through and then say, like, what was really good about it, review it and see how you can improve. That's essentially a step that I take every single time I create something, whether it's a live program or an online program. I'm always, taking a look at, like, what can I do to improve? What do people actually really need? And then, I work to improve my program so that there's even more value, that people are going to get what, like, I always want to essentially over deliver, like, I want you to get so much value out of it, and that it was so good that you're going to tell your friends and you're going to share, and that you would, maybe come to another course or take another thing with me. If you think about it, that's how you work as a therapist, right? So, as a patient, like, if I'm working in my clinic, I want to provide such great therapy for my patients that they want to come back the next time. So if you think about it like that, like creating a course for other therapists is essentially the same thing, but you have to make it a topic that they're really interested in. So when I first started, I did it with orthosis, and then I did it twice. I taught it at the university twice. I started, and I have this tendency, which is like really bad, is I tend to want to go to the next thing and the next thing because I get bored with the thing that I'm doing. So don't do that. It's very painful. But I created orthosis 101, and I always knew I wanted to create something online, but I also wanted to teach it live. And then it went so well. I was like, okay, let me do this next thing. And I did the next thing, and it was like it was good, but I didn't know how I was going to make it even better. Like, it wasn't necessarily going to work for teaching orthosis, very specifically that particular thing. So again, that was in my review and see how to improve and stuff like that, because I was probably trying to move too fast. So when I first started, I did not think that getting continuing education credits is important. I kind of still don't. It's because I don't want to do the work. Like, it is so tedious to get CEUs. So when I first started, I wanted to see, like, if people were really interested in the thing that I had to sell, the thing that I wanted to teach, because I loved it so much. I wanted to see, find other people who wanted to learn what I had to teach. And so CEUs was just not an important thing for me. So when I could do it through the university got the CEUs for me, which made it really easy. But once I started to do stuff on my own, I was like, you know what? In order to move really fast, right? In order to move really fast, and I would encourage you to move really fast, is that CEUs will drag you down because the process is so tedious, and they're like, well, you're going to change this and you're going to do this. And so it takes your time and energy away from the thing that you're trying to do. So that's my only thing. If CEUs is a really important core value of you and of what you want to do, then by all means do it. It is not a core value for me. I honestly, I believe in, I want to be the best therapist, and I want to, in order to teach, you have to keep learning. And so I have more CEUs than I know what to do with. And so CEUs have never been a really important thing for me, because if I want it, I can get it. CEUs are cheap, right? Knowledge is expensive. Actual knowledge takes time, effort, and is more expensive. So to me, CUs, like, you can go to whatever.com and get CUs for nothing. So that's why I kind of didn't value CUs. I still kind of don't, but I can understand why it's important for therapists. And so now, because I have, someone to help me, it is something that we are going to be able to do and get like AOTA CEUs and whatever CEUs for people, because I recognize that it's important to the people who want to buy my courses. And that was in the review and see how to improve process. But I didn't start there, because I wanted to see, like, if my idea was valuable, if my idea was going to be able to kind of like take off, because I didn't want to create a course that nobody was going to buy, because then I'd be really frustrated. And I'm sure if you created a course and you're like, why is nobody buying? You might have missed steps 1 and 3, which is, one is that you got to share with people and see what people are actually really interested in. And then the third step was you got to sell it. So if you only created 2, which is create the course, you're going to sit in a lot of frustration. So anyway, that is essentially what I did to start creating training courses specifically for occupational therapists and physical therapists. And now I have a little bit of a suite of courses under my, my banner of Hand Therapy Secrets. And it's very specific for, hand therapy and everything that I promote in terms of hand therapy. But I think that these 4 steps are great for any business that wants to create training courses for other therapists. So I hope this video provided a lot of value and kind of just share what I've done. So maybe you can take some of those steps to create something that you want to be able to promote and share what you know. So if you like videos like this and you found this very helpful, definitely hit the subscribe button and leave me a comment below and see what else from a business standpoint that you're interested in, so I can make more videos like this for you. All right, until next time, see you soon.